July 2015, Colville, Leicestershire, England. A 15-year-old sat alone in his bedroom, staring at a list of phone numbers on his computer screen. He called himself Cracka. In reality, his name was Kane Gamble. That night, he wasn't playing games like most teenagers. Instead, he was planning to do something else. He was preparing to call a telecom company in the United States thousands of miles away from Colville. His reason? To hack the personal accounts of people working in U.S. intelligence. Phone ringing. Call answered asterisk. Hello. The call sounded normal. It was so convincing that Kane was able to convince the customer support that he was the real deal. In just a few moments, he requested a reset for an account using personal details he collected online. And it worked. From that single call, the password was changed. Personal email was opened. Kane was able to access multiple email addresses, phone numbers, and sensitive information that was not supposed to be seen by anyone, especially not a teenager like Kane. Among his targets were CIA Director John Brennan and other senior U.S. officials. At first, it sounded impossible. How could a mere teenager do all of this? But when this personal information was posted online, U.S. intelligence agencies realized they were dealing with a serious security breach. Before his name started making headlines, Kane Gamble was a simple teenager. He was born on October 2nd, 1999. As a child, Kane spent most of his time inside his room. He didn't have many friends and found it hard to connect with other people his age. He preferred spending his time online. He spent hours reading online forums, joining chat groups, and talking with strangers online. At a young age, politics and war caught his attention. While most teenagers find it boring, Kane became interested in these topics. He followed the news about wars in the Middle East. Videos and articles about Palestine affected how he saw the world. Kane saw people dying. Children, women, innocent civilians. Kane felt angry. He started blaming the government, specifically the United States. Kane began interacting with a small hacking group. He then became connected to a group called Crackas with attitude. This group was different. Instead of hacking using advanced coding and tools, most of their operations focused on impersonation and manipulation. That's when Kane realized hacking didn't always require technical skills. Sometimes, all it took was confidence. He began to study how companies verified identities through customer support. He studied how people made phone calls while pretending to be a customer. At first, he started with smaller targets. He learned how to control the conversation and respond with confidence. Each successful call gave him more confidence. The more it worked, the more his anger toward the United States grew. His frustration turned into action. Within Crackas with attitude, the discussion often focused on global politics and conflicts, especially support for Palestine. Kane believed exposing powerful officials from the United States could bring attention to the issues. Under the name Cracka, Kane became more active inside the group. The members encouraged each other to go after high-ranking officials in the United States. Kane started focusing on people connected to U.S. intelligence. One night, he focused on a big target, CIA Director John Brennan. Before starting, Kane had his notes that contained phone numbers and personal details of John Brennan that he collected online. He first called Verizon, a telecommunications company and phone service provider. Kane sat in front of his computer before dialing the customer support number. Phone ringing, 3 rings. Call answered. Verizon support, how can I help you today? CS. Hi, this is from the technical team. I'm calling about an account issue. I just need to verify some details. Kane. The customer support agent asked a few questions. Kane answered them smoothly. He sounded like someone who belonged inside the company. The conversation was quick. When the call ended, Kane had what he needed, an email address linked to John Brennan. He moved to the next step, another call, this time to AOL, an email and internet service provider. Phone ringing, 3 rings. Call answered. Hello, AOL support. How can I help you? CS. Hi, I can't access my email. Can you help me reset my password? Kane. Let me check that for you. A few moments later, a notification appeared on his computer screen. Password changed. Access granted. He now had access to John Brennan's personal email. Kane immediately shared some screenshots with his group. After Kane gained access to John Brennan's account, he looked for another target. This time, it was James Clapper, the U.S. Director of National Intelligence. The method was the same. Kane called the customer support and acted as James Clapper. Phone ringing, 3 rings. Call answered. Customer support, how can I help you today? CS. Hi, I'm calling about a problem with my phone settings. Kane. All right, what would you like us to change? CS. I need to update the call forwarding settings. Kane. Kane's voice stayed calm during the calls. In a few minutes, the call forwarding settings of James Clapper's phone changed. If anyone called his home number, it would be redirected to a Free Palestine organization. Using the name Cracka, Kane posted on his social media account, claiming he hacked high-ranking U.S. officials' personal accounts. At first, no one believed him and thought he was lying. So Kane posted proofs. Screenshots appeared online showing emails, contact lists, and account details. When this information began appearing online, U.S. officials were alarmed. They treated it as a national security breach. But Kane didn't stop. He continued his operation and targeted 2 more high-ranking U.S. officials. Kane targeted Mark Giuliano, the Deputy Director of the FBI. Once again, he relied on impersonation. By pretending to be Mark Giuliano, he convinced service providers to reset account access. When he had access, he gathered sensitive information from the FBI and posted it online. The breach caused Mark Giuliano and his family to seek police protection as passwords were repeatedly changed, and some personal information began appearing online. His next target was Jed Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security. Kane used the same method to hack Jed Johnson's account. He then made some bold moves to insult Jed Johnson. A message appeared on a television inside Jed Johnson's home. I own you. After that, the house received a disturbing voicemail from Kane. Hi Spooky, am I scaring you? At first, it seemed like an online prank, but when more sensitive information was shared online, the United States began a serious investigation. Multiple agencies began working together, tracking the hacker. That's when they noticed a pattern, impersonation, and account resets. Investigators studied the screenshots spreading across the internet. It helped them to see the timeline of the hacking. The timeline showed how the hacker moved from one official to the next. They tracked the hacker's activity, usernames, and the way the proof and screenshot were released online. The issue reached the media, and news coverage of the issue was released. Reports said that senior officials targeted using simple hacking methods instead of advanced tools. Investigators continued to follow Kane's movement online until they found out where the attack came from. United Kingdom. The United States and British authorities cooperated to find the hacker. As the investigation moved forward, the digital trail finally led them to the person they were looking for. The British authorities confirmed that the hacker was a 15-year-old from Colville named Kane Gamble, also known online as Cracka, and a part of a group called Crackas with Attitude, or CWA, which targeted high-ranking officials. On February 9, 2017, the authorities arrested Kane at his home after months of tracking. During his trial, it was revealed that he impersonated officials, reset accounts through telecom providers, and shared screenshots online. His hacking started from June 2015 to February 2016 as the investigators traced his activity back to the United Kingdom. In October 2017, Kane Gamble stood in court and pleaded guilty to several misuse charges. Prosecutors described how he tricked customer support to access personal accounts and shared screenshots online. His actions also caused fear in some families when their personal information was shared online. They changed phone numbers, increased security at home, and asked for police protection. In April 2018, Kane Gamble was sentenced to 2 years in a youth detention center. After his release, strict supervision rules limited how he could use the internet. Kane Gamble kept his life private and did not appear in public again. U.S. officials confirmed they were aware of the situation and reported it to the authorities. The FBI also opened its own investigation, but didn't share more details about it. The story that started online ended in court, but it remains one of the most unusual hacking cases in history, carried out by a 15-year-old boy.